Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm building on my island Thistle and we're going to be building, yes, you guessed it, outside of Nooks Cranny. Now also, this is kind of like a 2-for-1 video because I do end up building around Able Sisters as well, and you'll see me move that over in a second. But before we get started, I'd love it if you could like, comment and subscribe. Come join the Jellybean family. Now let's get building. So I'm going to start by doing some terraforming behind Nooks Cranny first, and I just want to use this as kind of a guideline for how much space I have, like I normally do when I'm building. And then we're just going to pop this little incline here, just ready for later basically. But let's do a little bit of time traveling just so that the incline is built, so it makes it easier to build around it. Now I'm going to be doing some path laying, and now you will notice that I only do half of the path, and that's because while I was doing this I then decided that I wanted to put Able Sisters in this area as well, which we will time travel, so Able Sisters is built as well, just so like I said it makes life easier when decorating. And I seem to have a few frogs in this area at the moment. We've got Jeremiah running around there who's super cute, who isn't staying. Also our little Rattle is there as well, and I'm really excited to actually build his house eventually because I have some ideas that I'd like to try out, and yeah, just be a little bit different to what I'm normally used to doing in builds. I love trying to make my builds and islands as varied as possible because I feel like it just keeps the game nice and fresh for me, and it definitely helps with burnout, so I don't feel as burnt out as if I was trying to do very similar themes each time. Like if you take the islands I'm currently doing, the Halloween town one is completely different to what Thistle is going to be like, and these are both completely different to what I've done before. Yes, I've done town islands in the past, but nothing like what I'm doing really, so it's nice to, you know, change everything up. So if you're feeling a little bit burnt out by this game at the moment, maybe try and change your theme completely or change your island completely. Do something you're not normally used to doing. You know, step outside your comfort zone, and it might actually help you enjoy this game again. I know that's how I enjoyed this game constantly over and over, by changing my theme so much, and yeah, I love playing it still. But anyway, enough about that. Let's go back to talking about this build. So I've just placed a cave item down, and I just think it looks really nice and spooky there. I think it looked really cool if I managed to get the fog weather, which I'm going to try and do for the DA. I want it to be foggy but slightly dark, and I'm going to try my best to try and find that weather. It may take a while, so yeah, wish me luck with that one, but that's still weeks away. But basically for this whole area I'm going to be using a lot of trees, bushes and flowers, and also some of the wheat field and leaf piles and things like that. I want to make this look like a spooky, bewitched forest. I was really struggling on trying to think what to do with Able Sisters and Nooks Cranny because they really do stand out with the theme that I'm going for. They don't really match anything, so I wanted to try and put them in an area together where, you know, I could kind of blend them in a little bit. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm basically making a spooky forest with like light up mushrooms and stuff. So I guess it's kind of enchanted, kind of bewitched. I don't know what the best word to use for it would be. Basically, if you're going to visit here, you need to be careful of this forest. You don't know what spells lie amongst the trees or curses on the plants and things. Well, this is just basically the story I've made up for this area. Like I said, if you've been following me for a while, you know I like to make up stories for each section that I'm building on the island. I just think it really helps with decorating sometimes, and also, you know, gives a lore to the island, which is always fun. By the way, I really wanted to use this giant flower somewhere on this build, so I'll be probably using it in other places around the island as well, you'll see, because I feel like it just adds a spooky vibe. It's just a spooky looking plant. I mean, I can't remember what its actual name is called because I'm terrible with names anyway, so I'm not gonna remember the name of that flower, but yeah, I think it looks really good behind Able Sisters and definitely brings in the spooky forest vibe that I'm going for this area. And as you saw, I've just been placing down some wheat field, of course, to make the area feel, you know, it's coming, overgrown. I love making overgrown areas. I don't know why, I just love them. I should just do a fully overgrown island one day, or do like trashcore or something. I feel like I would love to do trashcore. It'd be so much fun, and I'd have like the worst villagers that I could find possible that are acceptable. So basically any of them except truffles, and yeah, that would be kind of fun. I think I'd enjoy that. Maybe one day we'll do trashcore. Oh, and by the way, any of the codes that I'm using in today's video you can find listed in the description down below. So if you see any here you like, you'll find them just there. Also, I've tried to list as many of the creators' socials as I could find, so you can go to their accounts and go and give them some love on their amazing custom codes that they have created. I really like this grass code that I'm using at the moment. It's almost like a mossy grass, and I think it goes really nice with this yellowy green grass that's actually on the ground. My game is currently set at the beginning of November, so that's why I have this lovely greeny yellow grass. It's going to look really nice with what I'm doing for the back of the island and everything, which you'll see in a few videos time. But over here I've just popped pop down a glowing moss stool, we got a mush stool, a brown giant vine, and I got some vine benches as well, which are also customized in brown. I've put the vine benches like this so it looks like it's the roots from maybe the trees or the giant vine itself. I just think it looks really spooky and it just adds to this whole foresty spooky vibe that I want. Now over here I've got some cave items which I'm going to be turning around so they just look like big piles of rocks. I'm going to be using 2 of these. I just think it's a nice item to fill this area with. Also keep that natural spooky vibe going on. Now these 2 are customized in the mossy customization rather than the black one like the cave over there. They especially help with covering up the Nooks Cranny like I wanted to do. Like I said, the Nooks Cranny just doesn't really fit in with the theme I'm doing, so if I'm able to cover it up I will. I know I could have probably used like the castle walls or the medieval walls or storefronts or something, but like I said, I wanted to keep this area as natural as possible, like a spooky forest, and just cover up using trees and other items instead. The decayed trees are a definite must I feel for this spooky forest. I'm going to be using a lot of the decayed trees on this island I feel. I'm just going to be using a lot of trees in general I think. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to add some more of the mush items. I've decided to use the mush parasol and it's customized in the strange customization. And of course I'm going to be using some more wheat field around this area. I feel like I'm going to be using a lot of the glowing moss weeds on this island as well. I have used them on the entrance build and of course I'm using them on this build. They definitely add like a magical vibe to this island, what I want to go for, because this is basically going to be a magical, bewitched, spooky forest and other stuff, which I am not going to say yet. It's still a secret, but yeah, that's the vibe I want to go for. Now instead of making this whole section literally just bushes and wheat field and flowers and things, I will be adding a very nice looking seating area to that section in a minute. But first of all, I just want to fill in a few more of these little gapped areas with just some of the natural items. You know what I like, I like the bushes, the flowers, the wheat field, that sort of thing. And now add glowing moss to that list as well. Now I really like the mush stalls. I think they look really nice. They just look like bigger mushrooms. I will probably go around and drop mushrooms actually on the floor later on. But now let's work on this little seating area I was talking about. So I have the ruined arch here, customized in black, and it just adds such a spooky vibe to this area. It looks so amazing. I love it. And then in front of that, I've just got a wild log bench. Now I did find it looked a little bit plain on the grass, so I've decided to pick the items up and place that mossy grass code underneath, and then we're just going to put the items back down. I feel like I do this quite often in my builds, no matter what the island. I try to put like a code underneath to make the area look less plain, as I say. One day I'll have to set myself the challenge of not doing that and try to resist putting any code underneath all my items just to see how I get on, because I feel like my brain will explode, but we'll see. It'll be a fun challenge. Now over here I popped the spooky lantern set but turned it round so you can't actually see the smiley face on it, and I think it just looks really cool through there. It definitely adds a more autumnal vibe to this island. I do want to use pumpkins around the island, like the actual pumpkin items. Like this one here, I got the spooky tower, just because I want it, to still look like it's autumnal and still look like it's autumn, but also, I don't want it to look like Halloween, so that's why I've turned the items round. Also, as for the spooky items rather than the pumpkins that you actually grow, I will only be using them in the green customization and the white customization. The ones that you grow in the ground though, I'm not too fussed what colour they are, especially the orange ones. I feel like they just add a little bit of colour to the area, and also I love pumpkins, so it's a win-win either way. Now over here I'm just putting down some more of that lovely moss grass code, and I'm putting the strange mushroom on top. I don't know why I called it strange mushroom. Strange is the colour it is, and it's actually a mush parasol, so there you go. I was getting all my words and names all confused and mixed up, but that's fine, that's normal for me. Now of course I had to add some of these creepy bones again, or creepy skeleton I think it's called. Definitely helps with the spooky vibe that I want for this island. And this little gap here, I wasn't able to put a flower in there and still have the mush parasol where I wanted it, so instead I decided to put a nice stepping stone custom code down, and I definitely like how it looks there. So there's not much left to build of this section now. We just got to kind of finish in putting the flowers and stuff in, and of course leaf piles, because I told you they were coming and now here they are. I also want to do that little section to the right side of Able Sisters, and then I didn't really like how plain it looked in front of Able Sisters. I felt like it was still too open, and I wanted to cover it up a bit more, a bit like I did for Nooks Cranny. So I've decided to pop a giant vine here, and I think that looks good. It kind of covers up a bit more. And then I did decide on this pillar, but then I ended up changing that because I didn't like how it looked there. It was too in line with the archway. today, so I've decided to put a mush lamp there instead, and I definitely prefer how that looks. So you may have actually noticed when I was putting down some of the mush lamps that a couple of them aren't actually turned on. I've turned them off. Don't worry, I end up not liking how that looks and end up going back around and turning all those mush lamps on because that's just me, I'm just fussy. Now I've still got this section here so I'm able to get to the outside box to sell items if I need to, because there's nothing worse than having to go into Nooks Cranny when you're trying to get rid of a load of flowers and you just want to sell them off because you don't have a bin, and so I like to have access to that outside box. But now let's finish working on the area next to Able Sisters. I'm just going to keep this pretty simple and natural as well. Now most of this island so far, the 2 builds that I've done so far have been very natural. Even though there's 2 buildings in this one, I've kept it very natural, like I said, with lots of trees and lots of bushes and things like that. But I will be doing some other various builds on this island. This whole island isn't going to look like this area. It's going to look similar, but I have some really big ideas that I'm hoping I can do for this island, and hopefully it looks nice and it looks good. I might try one of them out in my next video or the one after. I'm not too sure. Like I said, I don't really plan out too much, but yeah, I'm very excited to do them and I hope you'll be excited to see them. Now this little cliff here, I know I could put a vine on it, so I'm going to, and look how cute that looks. It just makes everything feel more, I don't know, filled in, and it just definitely makes everything feel a bit more realistic, I guess. Overgrown is probably the best word for me to use again, but I always use that word. Oh well, who cares? It's a great word. But now that I'm just putting the last finishing touches onto that section, and then we're pretty much done with this area, but just one more mush lamp. That's all we need. But now that we've finished this area, let's take a little look around. So there we have it. We have finished our little look around of the area today. This was quite a nice and different build for me. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I like changing my theme and ideas up every now and then. It just makes the game still feel fresh. Now if you enjoyed this video though, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up for me. Also comment down below, even if it's just hello. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Come and join the Jellybean family. I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are in the world, my friends, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye!